Hi everyone, this is my audience member Trent, and I'm going to talk to you about online education. Is online education just as good as traditional face-to-face classroom education? Have you ever been in that situation where you're telling someone that you're going back to school and you're really excited, but you hesitate about telling them that you're taking classes online? Or you've already told them that you're taking classes online and you're wondering if they're questioning the education that you're receiving? See, this is something that's very important to me because, like you all, I'm taking classes online here at CCU. But also, I work in higher education and I talk to students all day long about taking classes online and if it's something that's important and something that will work for them. And I'm here to tell you that online education is not just important, but it is the future of higher education. Now, there was a time where online education was shunned, and people said, well, you don't want to go to classes online. Or online schools, they don't really give you any real education, they just want your money. And maybe there was a time when that was true. But online education now goes through the same accreditation that traditional education does. And it's just as important, just as effective, and for a lot of people, just as essential to their education. To really a lot more people than you may think. A study conducted by the Babson Research Group by USA News and World Report has found that in 2010, the increase of online education far surpassed that of the increase of traditional education. Traditional education increased by 0.6% in 2010, while online education increased by 10.1% in 2010. That's quite the disparity. Now, it would make one question, why such growth? Some argue that is the cost of online education, that it's cheaper than that of traditional education. Some say that because it's online, it works with the students' schedule more. There's more flexibility. Other people argue that, well, online education is starting to provide more programs, which is a very good point because that brings to light the fact that it isn't just that students are seeking more online education, but also that schools are providing more online education. If more programs are being made available to students, well, then that means that more schools are offering these programs, and more schools are realizing that online education is important to students, and it's important for their future as a higher learning institution. Now, according to that same Babson research group, there was a different study that they did as far as the increase of online education from 2002 to 2012. In 2002, 75% of, 72% of schools offered online education. But in 2012, that number has increased to 87% of schools offer some form of online education. And of those 87% of schools that do offer online education, 62% of those programs can be completed entirely online. Now, there are many benefits that I can say as a student for going to school, for taking classes online. For me, there's the need to improve myself. But how can I do that? How can I be a better John and still be a father and still have a full-time job and still grow on my walk with God? Well, online education has afforded me to do that. I work full-time and I don't have time to spend a few hours in a classroom twice a week. But I do have the time to, after my son is put to bed, after I'm done with work, to log on into class and to further myself and to be the best version of John that I can be. And online education allows me to do that. Now, usually when, as parents, as full-time employees, we find ourselves taking on a lot, sometimes the first thing to go is church. Maybe it's missed out on church last Sunday, or the next week it's I missed out on this life group. That's one of the things that I love about Colorado Christian University, is that through these programs, not only am I furthering myself educationally and academically, but I'm also bettering the relationship that I have with God. Here at CCU, we're challenged to integrate our faith with our studies. And it's great because not only do I not miss out on church, but because I'm digging into the Word of God, because I'm growing in my relationship with Him, I'm actually finding myself more encouraged and more empowered to go to church, and more encouraged to speak out at those life groups and share what I've learned through my programs here at CCU. So there are many benefits to taking classes online. Not only are there benefits for me and you, and not only do we recognize that, but the higher education community recognizes that. And online education is something of the future. And we as online students are helping to pioneer that future. So we should walk with our heads high and not hesitate to tell someone that we're taking classes online, because it does have many benefits. For us, we get to further ourselves. Here at CCU, we get to grow in the Word of God. But we do this without sacrificing anything from our families or our jobs. We do this without having to hold off on being a mom or a dad, without having to take time away from work, so that we can hope to further ourselves. So maybe we can move forward in our career as we've always wanted to. So there are great benefits to taking classes online, something that we should not shy away from, because online education is something of the future. It is the future of higher education. It includes my future and your future. And we should be proud of ourselves and hold our heads high. So welcome to the future.